Chapter 579. Yin Chujio. And this on your own. As soon as Su Yanran finished speaking, Zhuo Piaoyu could not wait to ask, Junior sister Su, do you mean what you said? If we kill Yin Chujio, will you let us go? Su Yanran smiled coldly and nodded. If you kill Yin Chujio and I don't let you go, I'll be struck to death by heavenly lightning. I'll give you half an hour to decide. Su Yanran laughed coldly in her heart. Compared to her killing Yin Chujio, letting them kill each other was more beneficial to Heavenly Gate sect. The Spirit Radiance sect would definitely fall into conflict because of this. Moreover, if news of their fellow disciples killing each other spread, their reputation would also be ruined. Zhuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang exchanged a look, and then said with a rather conflicted expression, Junior sister Yun, now that things have come to this, and although there are some things that shouldn't be said, I must be an evil person for the sake of the lives of the senior and junior brothers. Right now we are outnumbered. The Heavenly Gate sect has a total of 100 people, and there's only 10 of us. No matter what, we can't escape. Since they are coming for you alone, then you should go. We will avenge you in the future. Ding Lang sighed. Junior sister Yin, this is also forced by the situation. Just take it that you want to help everyone. Don't make us do it. Just kill yourselves. Junior sister Zhua, senior brother Ding, are you crazy? The first rule of our Spirit Radiance sect is that we are not allowed to sell out the sect. Have you all forgotten? Feng Ming did not expect the two of them to actually say such things. He looked at Zhuo Piaoyu with disappointment. Junior sister Little Jiao previously said that she was a hypocritical person, but he did not believe it. He thought that junior sister Little Jiao was just biased against her. He did not expect that she would actually betray her fellow disciples. It was really disappointing. Zhuo Piaoyu saw Feng Ming's disappointed and disgusted expression, and her heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. However, since she had already said it, she had to kill Yin Chujio today. At most, she would just have to think of a way to justify it in the future. As long as Yin Chujio was gone, she would definitely be able to make senior brother Feng Ming fall in love with her again. Senior brother Feng Ming, do you think that I am willing to be such an evil person? However, which is more important? Yin Chujio's life alone and the lives of the 9 of us. Could it be that just because of her, all 9 of us will lose our lives? I'm forced to do this because I have no other choice. Zhuo Piaoyu cried out. That's right. Once Yin Chujio, this trash of a person dies, then so be it. Do you want us to be buried with her? Lu Shi said with a cold smile. It would be great for trash like her to die. The other 2 male disciples of the West Peak were also Zhuo Piaoyu's admirers. They said one after another, Senior brother Feng Ming, we're not betraying our fellow disciples, but using the smallest sacrifice in exchange for more lives. Moreover, Yin Chujio's spiritual power is so low. Even if she doesn't die this time, danger lurks everywhere in this ancient mine. Sooner or later, something will happen. Why shouldn't she sacrifice herself and save us? Zhuo Piaoyu was very satisfied when she saw that both of them were speaking up for her. She looked at Wu Yanyu and asked, Junior sister Wu, what do you think? Zhuo Piaoyu felt that Wu Yanyu would definitely help her to convince Feng Ming. This way, they would have an advantage in numbers. With 6 against 4, senior brother Feng Ming could only agree with them and kill Yin Chujio. Wu Yanyu was deep in thought with her head lowered when she suddenly heard Zhuo Piaoyu asking her. She was stunned for a moment before she stammered. This? Whatever works. I have no objections. I will abide by senior brother Feng Ming. Zhuo Piaoyu thought that she had heard wrongly and asked again with a cold face. Junior sister Wu, what did you say? Chapter 580. I will commit suicide. I don't want to live anymore. Zhuo Piaoyu stared at Wu Yanyu as if she had been poisoned. Wu Yanyu shrunk her neck and stammered. I said. I will abide. I will abide by senior brother Feng Ming. Zhuo Piaoyu went forward and slapped Wu Yanyu. Have you lost your mind? I will make you clear your mind. Wu Yanyu covered her face. She could not believe that Zhuo Piaoyu would slap her in public. Was this still the Zhuo Piaoyu who was known for her gentleness and kindness? Lu Shi and the other 2 did not expect Zhuo Piaoyu to actually make a move just like that. They were shocked by the viciousness on her face. Zhuo Piaoyu also felt a little regretful after the beating. She immediately put on an angry expression and said, "Junior sister Wu, I'm sorry. This is an important matter. I was afraid that you made the wrong decision at that moment. I was really too anxious just now, so I hit you. You understand, right?" At that moment, the more Wu Yinyu looked at Zhuo Piaoyu, the more frightened she felt. She did not dare to talk back. She shook her head and then lowered her head without saying a word. "Senior brother Fengming, the time is almost up. If you can't bear to do it, move aside. I'll be the villain." Zhuo Piaoyu had already torn off her usually gentle and kind mask. Since they have arrived at that juncture, then Yin Chujiu must be killed. Fengming protected Yin Chujiu behind him. "Zhuo Piaoyu, I was blind in the past. I thought you were gentle and kind. You're vicious. You actually betrayed your fellow disciples for your own safety. Get lost. Don't even think about touching junior sister little Jiao." Ding Lang gave Lu Shi and the other two a look when he saw this. The four of them suddenly attacked Fengming. Seeing this, Gung Yi and Shi Xian quickly protected Yin Chujiu in the middle with Fengming. "Are you guys rebelling?" Ding Lang said viciously. "We only want Yin Chujiu's life. You guys get out of the way quickly, or don't blame us for not letting you off either." Ding Lang was furious. None of these people were good. They had always been in the limelight, so it was good to take the opportunity to kill them all. "When the time comes, I will put the blame onto Heavenly Gate sect, and the number one successor disciple of the Spirit Radiance sect would be me, Ding Lang." Su Yanran looked at the internal strife within the Spirit Radiance sect, and a disdainful sneer appeared on her face. She did not expect that with just a few words of provocation, Zhuo Piaoyu, this idiot, would really make a move. Very well. Even if Zhuo Piaoyu and the others were not Fengming's match, she would help Yin Chujiu one last time. Yin Chujiu must die. Stop. Stop fighting. I have something to say. Yin Chujiu shouted loudly. Zhuo Piaoyu took a step back and said with a sneer, "Yin Chujiu, what do you have to say? Are you going to commit suicide? How would a shameless bitch like you sacrifice yourself to help us?" "That's right. In order for you to live, I will commit suicide." Yin Chujiu said lightly. "Junior sister Jiao, are you crazy?" "Don't worry, we will not hand you over," Fengming roared. Shi Xian and Gung Yi also said, "That's right. Junior sister Jiao. At worst, we'll just fight it out. Killing one is to break even, killing two is to profit." Yin Chujiu shook her head. "Zhuo Piaoyu is right. I can't be so selfish. I can't harm you guys just because of me. Ding Lang, don't you have a poison pill on you? Give me one. I'll take it and kill myself. At least my corpse will be whole." Ding Lang's eyes flickered. He took out a pill from his storage ring and handed it to Yin Chujiu. "This is the 7-kill pill. Once you take it, you'll die immediately." Yin Chujiu took the pill and said to Su Yanran, "Su Yanran, if I take the poison and commit suicide, you won't go back on your word, right?" Su Yanran sneered. "Who knows if you're acting? You can take the poison and commit suicide if you want, but take this poisonous feather pill as well." Chapter 581. Yin Chujiu's body was missing. Su Yanran threw a pill to Yin Chujiu, and Fengming jumped over to snatch it away. He did not expect Yin Chujiu to be faster than him, so he took the pill and stuffed it into his mouth. "Junior sister little Jiao, you're too much." Fengming hugged Yin Chujiu, who had collapsed on the ground, and cried out. Shi Xian and Gung Yi clenched their fists. Although they did not have a deep relationship with Yin Chujiu, they had fought side by side along the way. Yin Chujiu was lively, cute, and resourceful. They had already treated Yin Chujiu as their sister. The scene before them, it was really hard for them to accept. As a 3-foot-tall man, they actually let their junior sister commit suicide to save their lives. How could they have the face to continue living? Fengming's eyes were bloodshot. He hugged Yin Chujiu and shouted, "Junior sister little Jiao, I won't let you die pointlessly. I will kill a few people to accompany you in death. Take your time. We will accompany you to the Netherworld Road later." Yin Chujiu held Fengming's hand with one hand and said weakly, "You guys go. Otherwise I will die with my eyes wide open. Go." Fengming was slightly stunned for a moment, and then he shouted, Junior sister little Jiu. Don't worry, whether it's Shuopyeoyu and the other scum of his sect or the Heaven sect, senior brother will kill them and avenge you. Feng Ming turned around and looked at Su Yanran with his red eyes. Su Yanran, junior sister little Jiu has already forfeited her life by taking the poison. We can at least take her body with us, right? Su Yanran sneered. Of course. We will return the corpse to your Linghua sect, but not now. We still have to bring it back as evidence. You guys can leave. You have 30 seconds. Otherwise, don't blame me for changing my mind. As soon as Su Yanran finished speaking, Shuopyeoyu and the others could not wait to escape, afraid that Su Yanran would change her mind. Su Yanran's face revealed a look of disdain. There was actually such dishonorable scum in the Linghua sect. The Linghua sect was so mediocre. Shi Xian and Gung Yi looked at Feng Ming. They thought that Feng Ming would definitely not leave like this. At the very least, he would take junior sister little Jiu's body away. They did not expect Feng Ming to grit his teeth and say, "Let's go. We can't let junior sister little Jiu's sacrifice be in vain." Shi Xian and Gung Yi were stunned. However, they saw that Feng Ming seemed to have unintentionally touched the storage ring on his hand. The two of them revealed an expression of common understanding. All right. We will have our revenge no matter how long it takes. Let's go. Su Yanran saw Feng Ming and the other two leave as well. She looked at Yin Chujia's body on the ground and could not help but sneer. Yin Chujio, you failed to the point your fellows actually gave up on retrieving your body. Don't worry. In the end, I will return it to the Linghua sect. After all, you were forced to die by your fellow disciples. When the time comes, I will let the entire Qingxian continent know what happened. I will let you die with incomparable glory. Junior sister Su, where is the body? Oh my god, there's really nothing left. Where did it go? Could it be that Yin Chujio turned into a ghost and ran away? Su Yanran was stunned. Yin Chujia's body was indeed missing from the ground in front of her. The corners of her mouth curled into a cold smile. Then she took out an array disc from her storage ring. After activating it, everyone saw Yin Chujio quickly climbing up the mine. Yin Chujio, I didn't expect you to have a concealment talisman. However, you won't be able to escape today. Attack together and grind them to dust. Su Yanran said as she threw 8 wind blades at Yin Chujia's back. Chapter 582. Did not have such a way to defeat a beast. Following Su Yanran's orders, all kinds of spiritual power attacks were launched at Yin Chujio. Fireballs, wind blades, and water arrows all flew toward Yin Chujia's back. Yin Chujio was so angry that she was about to explode. Damn it. How could that little bitch Su Yanran have such a good treasure? It actually allowed her to see through the concealment talisman. If she had the chance, she would definitely steal it. Little Black was almost about to cry from her master's stupidity. What the fuck was going on? Why are you still thinking about treasure? Hurry up and run for your life. Fortunately, Yin Chujio had a lot of defensive spiritual artifacts on her. Most of them were shattered, and she finally climbed to the top of the mine. She waved at Su Yanran. Beauty Su, I'm not playing with you anymore. You can play by yourself. See you later. Haha. Su Yanran was so angry that her face turned green. She jumped up and was about to climb up the stone wall to chase after Yin Chujio. But because the stone wall was very smooth, she kept slipping. Moreover, this ancient mine prohibited flying, so she could not fly on her sword. Junior sister Su, what should we do next? A male disciple from the Heaven's Gate sect asked. Use tools to cut out grooves in the stone wall. Well, climb up. I don't believe that we can't catch her. If we meet anyone from the Linghua sect, we'll capture them and use them as a hostage. I want to see if Yin Chujio will leave anyone behind. Su Yanran secretly hated her own carelessness. Next time, she would directly chop off Yin Chujio's head and see what other tricks she could play. However, it was really strange. Why wasn't she poisoned to death? She must have done something. This bitch was really treacherous. Yin Chujio originally wanted to wait for Su Yanran and the others to leave before secretly making her move. She didn't expect that Su Yanran would actually be prepared to climb up and chase after her. She could only run all the way south. Aya, I originally thought that this concealment talisman was pretty useful. I did not expect it to not be omnipotent, but it can be discovered by those above the 5th level of the spirit sovereign realm. What a useless thing. Shuo Piaoyu Dinglang, and those bastards. When I return to the Linghua sect, I will not let any of them off. She originally thought that it would be too beneath her to argue with trash like them. She did not expect that they would take advantage of her. That Wu Yinyu is still alright. She is not rotten to the core. When the time comes, I will just let her go. Little Black, why are you a bird? If you were a scarlet tiger, gale wolf, or something like that, would you be able to carry me and run? Once we arrive at the training grounds, we will be banned from flying. There is no place for you to be useful. Yin Chuzhou grumbled as she ran, and Little Black was unhappy. Master, there is no way you can defeat a beast like this. I am clearly a bird. Even if you make me turn into a tiger, I will not be able to change. Why don't you take in more beasts that can only be ridden? Just let me die of grief. Sigh, how did I end up with such a cruel master? The corner of Yin Chujia's eyes twitched. Alright. I said the wrong thing. However, if there's a chance, I really have to tame a demonic beast that can be ridden. When the time comes, you can also take a ride. Elder Xiao's tiger isn't bad, but its level is a little low. Why don't I return to the Linghua sect and pick one out of the few mighty elephants? However, they're a little big, so they move too slowly. Little Black curled its lips and scoffed at Yin Chuzhou. She spoke as if it were an easy thing to do. The mighty elephants had a violent temper, so it would be strange if they could recognize her as their master. However, this master of his was very cruel. Perhaps he would be able to find a good Mount Demon beast. When that time came, he would also be able to show off. Chapter 583. A big-hearted person. From that day onwards, Yin Chuzhou began her miserable days filled with having to run for her life. Since the concealment talisman was ineffective, Yin Chuzhou simply stopped using it. Although Su Yanran and the others had the numerical advantage, their spiritual power was uneven. Yin Chujia's boots also increased her speed via magical means, so she was easily able to maintain a safe distance from them. This pair of boots that the pretty boy gave me is really useful. I wonder if the pretty boy has seen his master or not. I can't my sound transmission talisman in here either. Otherwise, I can flirt with the pretty boy. Little Black was already powerless to complain. His master was really a big-hearted person. There were so many pursuers behind her. Yet she still had the mood to think about these things. Yin Chuzhou also met a few groups of disciples who were mining. If they were from the Skyblade sect and Bixiao Palace sect, she would not bother with them. If they were from the Linghua sect, she would tell them that the Heaven sect wanted to kill disciples from the Linghua sect, and to quickly hide. When those disciples saw that Yin Chuzhou was running faster than a rabbit, although they were skeptical, they avoided getting in Yin Chujia's way and hid. Therefore, despite running such a long way, Su Yanran did not encounter a single disciple of the Linghua sect. She was so angry that she gritted her teeth and chased after Yin Chuzhou relentlessly. However, Yin Chuzhou was getting more and more powerless. It was still fine during the day, but at night, Yin Chuzhou was afraid that Su Yanran would reinforcements. She could only let Little Black keep watch. She could only close her eyes a little while, and it was impossible for her to have a good rest. Damn it. Sooner or later, I'm going to get stronger, and I'm going to torture that little bitch Su Yanran to death. I don't know what kind of fortuitous encounter she had. Not only did her spiritual power slowly increase, but she also has a treasure that can see through the concealment talisman. Yin Chuzhou cursed as she ran. Little Black saw that Yin Chuzhou was slowing down, and said worriedly, "Master, if this keeps up you'll falter eventually." What else can I do? The concealment talisman is ineffective, and the people from the Linghua sect are too scattered to be organized. If I were to fight them head-on, I wouldn't be able to defeat them. I can only grit my teeth and persevere until the end of the trial, and be ejected from the ancient mine. Damn it. I originally wanted to make a fortune here, but in the end, I only cared about running for my life. I didn't manage to find anything valuable. It's infuriating. The frustration in Yin Chujia's heart was clear, however, there was nothing she could do. In the past, when she encountered a crisis, all she had to do was use her brain or talk her way out of it. This time, she had no immediate solution. If Su Yanran had only brought a dozen people with her, there was still a chance of winning. If Yin Chujio went all out, but fuck, she had nearly 100 people with her. Even Elder Xiao might not be able to escape unscathed against that many. Yin Chujia's stamina gradually ran out, and Su Yanran gradually shortened the distance between them. Su Yanran shouted viciously, "Yin Chujio, don't waste your energy. This time, you won't be able to escape even if you had wings." Yin Chujio gritted her teeth. If it didn't work, then she could only think of a way to restrain Su Yanran and force those people to leave. However, that little bitch Su Yanran was much smarter than Baimoru. If things went wrong, I might end up walking into a trap. What should I do? Climb the mountain? The defensive spirit tools on my body were already more than half damaged. If I climbed again, all of my defensive spirit tools would be destroyed. 2 hours later, Su Yanran and her people finally caught up to Yin Chujio. She was completely surrounded. Su Yanran looked at Yin Chujio with a cold smile. "Yin Chujio, do you want to end it yourself or do you want us to kill you?" "Beauty Su, there is no animosity between you and I. Do you really need to kill me?" Yin Chujio said with a smile. Chapter 584. A Bloody Path. Yin Chujio, you have repeatedly made our Heaven's Gate sect suffer losses. Everyone in our Heaven's Gate hates you to the bone. Cut the crap and die. Get her. Su Yanran took a few steps back and signaled for the people of the Heaven's Gate sect to attack. Yin Chujio cursed in her heart. This Su Yanran was cunning and hid behind her fellow disciples. Now she didn't have any good ideas and could only cut a bloody path through. Yin Chujio raised her hand and several bolts of lightning struck the disciples in the south. Those disciples didn't expect that Yin Chujio would actually be able to use lightning. They were caught off guard and were struck directly. Yin Chujio didn't care about the attacks from the other 3 directions at all. Anyway, she had a defensive spirit tool to block them. She continuously fired toward the disciples in the south. The disciples in the south were stunned for a moment. We have seen fireballs, wind blades, water arrows, and poison vines before. What the hell is this lightning? Can a human even use lightning attacks? Or is it purple lightning? Is this Yin Chujio really not a human, but a spirit that is animating a corpse? Yin Chujio's spiritual power was slightly higher than theirs. Coupled with the fact that they were caught off guard, Yin Chujio managed to create an opening. Yin Chujio ran forward with all her might. Chase her. We must kill Yin Chujio today. Su Yanran was also extremely shocked. Yin Chujio had a thunder spirit root, and it was even a heavenly thunder spirit root. No wonder she had always been one step ahead of me. It turned out that she had been a wolf in sheep's clothing. Damn bitch. I must kill her. If she was still alive, I would never be able to stand out. At this moment, Yin Chujio truly felt what it meant to be cornered. Fortunately, the boots on her feet could help her increase her speed. Otherwise, she would have been caught by Su Yanran long ago due to exhaustion. Even so, an hour later, Su Yanran caught up again from behind. All kinds of spiritual power attacks flew toward Yin Chujio's back. Fireball, wind blade, water arrow. There were even poison vines that emerged from the ground. Yin Chujio's defensive spiritual artifacts were constantly damaged, and she even almost crashed into a wall from all the attacks. Fuck, she had finally received some birthday presents, and now they were all fucking gone. Su Yanran, you little bitch, just you wait. Sooner or later, I will take my revenge. Just as Yin Chujio was at her wit's end, 3 people ran over from the side. They were Feng Ming, Gung Yi, and Shi Xian. Junior sister little Jiu, come. We'll take turns carrying you. Get some rest. Feng Ming carried Yin Chujio on his back and ran quickly. When Yin Chujio saw Feng Ming and the others, she felt that the 3 of them were like little angels waving their wings. No matter what, if she could take a breather, she did not believe that she could not think of a good way to escape. Now was not the time to chat. Yin Chujio did not ask why the 3 of them had appeared, but instead, she quickly recovered her strength. When Su Yanran saw Feng Ming and the other 2 rushing out, she was infuriated. She should not have worried too much at that time and just killed Feng Ming and the others earlier. It was a miscalculation. The spiritual power of Feng Ming and the other two was higher than most of the people of the Heaven's Gate sect, so their speed was naturally faster than theirs. Although they were carrying Yin Chujio, she was petite. The three of them took turns carrying her, so they were not caught by the people of the Heaven's Gate sect. After an hour, Yin Chujio's physical strength recovered a little, and the four of them were even faster. Gradually, the distance between them widened, and Yin Chujio finally let out a sigh of relief. The four of them came up with an escape plan. It was not feasible to keep running like this. It was best to find a place to hide. When the trial was over, it would be easy to send her out of the ancient mine. Chapter 585. Little Black Rat returns the favor. Feng Ming said with a bitter face. Junior sister Little Jiu, this ancient mine is very spacious. We can see a distance of more than 10 miles at a glance. Where can we hide? Yin Chujio was also frowning. Where can we possibly hide? It would be great if we could drill into the ground. Squeak. Squeak. A small black beast drilled out from the ground and kept calling to Yin Chujio. Yin Chujio's eyes lit up. Isn't this the black rat that I saved a few days ago? What is it trying to do? Mickey Mouse, what are you calling me for? The little bitch chasing us wants to kill us. We have to run for our lives, so we can't play with you anymore. Yin Chujio didn't care if Little Black Rat could understand her or not. The corners of Feng Ming and the other two's eyes twitched. What or who the hell was Mickey Mouse? Little Black Rat cried out even more anxiously. When it saw that Yin Chujio was still running forward, it anxiously raised its hind legs and used one of its claws to point to the west. Then it used its two front claws to hold its head. Yin Chujio blinked her eyes. You mean there's a good place for us to hide? Little Black Rat nodded desperately and squeaked excitedly. Feng Ming and the other two were amazed. Fuck. Isn't the tailless stone-eating rat a level 3 demon beast? How can it be so smart? It can even understand human language? Gungi said in disbelief. Feng Ming's eyes lit up. Junior sister Little Jiu, since we have nowhere else to go, why don't we follow this little black rat? Yin Chujio nodded and said to Little Black Rat, Mickey Rat, lead the way. Little Black Rat quickly ran up while Yin Chujio and the others followed closely. Little Black Rat took a few turns and brought the four of them to the front of a mine. Then Little Black Rat burrowed into the ground through a small hole. Yin Chujio's nose almost went crooked from anger. You actually burrowed in the ground? Are we also rats that can burrow with our physique? Feng Ming and the other two were also dumbfounded. They were originally full of hope, but now it felt like a basin of cold water had been poured on them. It was the same kind of water filled with ice cubes. It was too depressing. Mickey Mouse, get out here. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you think that we have the same small body or digging abilities as you? Yin Chujio was so angry that she twitched. As soon as Yin Chujio finished her sentence, the stone wall in front of them slowly rose, and Little Black Rat began to squeak from the inside. Yin Chujio's eyes immediately lit up, and she quickly brought Feng Ming and the other two inside. Before Yin Chujio went in, she used an elongated rolling pin to pull up the gravel within a few feet, removing the traces left by the four of them. Feng Ming and the other two looked at each other. They were very impressed by Yin Chujio's sharp mind. Even at this time, she could still think of these minor details. Junior sister Little Jiu was indeed smart. After Yin Chujio entered, Little Black Rat leaped up to a height of 6 feet. Its front paw pressed on a protruding spot, and the stone wall slowly fell again. Squeak. Squeak. Little Black led the way, and the four people followed it all the way. Yin Chujio looked at it as she walked. This should be a man-made tunnel, and no one knew where it led to. The four of them followed Little Black Rat for a full hour. When they encountered another thick stone wall, Little Black Rat went in through a small hole and opened the way. They had gone through 9 stone walls when the scene in front of them suddenly changed. It was so dazzling that it made them dizzy. Chapter 586. I am not a greedy person, oh my god. Yanxia. Jiu. Yanqing. Furong. Oh my god. These are all high-grade ores. Gung exclaimed. How can there be so many valuable ores here? It seems like they were transported from somewhere else and not originally found here. Xian picked up a piece and looked at it. Could this be a warehouse or something from the past? Look, we have passed through 9 stone walls. The thickness of the stone walls is abnormal. An ordinary person would not be able to set up such a mechanism. Feng Ming guessed. The 3 of them saw that Yin Chujio had not said anything, so they looked at her. They saw that she was enamored by all the ores in front of her, and her eyes were hooked. Little Black Rat noticed Yin Chujio's gaze and squeaked unhappily. Yin Chujio laughed dryly. Mickey Mouse, don't be unhappy. I'm not the kind of person who is greedy and evil. Anyway, you can't eat so much, so just give me a few pieces as a souvenir. Feng Ming and the other 2 simply could not bear to look at it. Little Black Rat had saved us, and you still have the nerve to ask for a souvenir. Little Black Rat rolled its eyes and used its claws to point at the smallest piece of smoke cloud ore. It squeaked twice at Yin Chujio. Yin Chujio pouted. This little Black Rat was really stingy. However, no matter how small a bounty was, it was better than nothing. It will have to do for now, but I don't believe that a little mouse like you can outsmart me. Senior brother Feng Ming, this place is very hidden. Even if Su Yanran finds out that we are hiding here, with their strength, they won't be able to destroy the stone wall in a short period of time. Moreover, there are 9 stone walls here. We can just hide out here. When the 1-month trial time is up, we'll be transported out. Yin Chujio lay on the ground. Fuck, I can finally catch my breath. I was almost killed by that little bitch Su Yanran. Feng Ming and the other 2 were also paralyzed on the ground. These few days were the most dangerous days they had ever encountered, especially when Yin Chujio seemingly committed suicide by taking the poison. It felt like the darkest moment of her life. Senior brother Feng Ming, I didn't expect you to react so quickly. If you hadn't been able to read the words I wrote in your palm, then I would have put on a show for nothing. When Yin Chujio fell into Feng Ming's arms, Yin Chujio had been lying on the ground and had written the word bluff on Feng Ming's palm. Fortunately, Feng Ming's reaction was fast. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to escape. Feng Ming smiled and said, I was also stunned at that time, but I thought that junior sister little Jiu was usually very cowardly. How could she have so easily taken the poison and committed suicide? Yin Chujio was so angry that she was twitching. Senior brother Bird, the boat of our friendship has capsized again. The friendship is over. That's it. Gung Yi and Xian looked at the dumbfounded Feng Ming and could not help but laugh out loud. Feng Ming's EQ was really too low. He really knew how to push buttons. The 4 of them slept until noon the next day. Only then did they get up full of energy. Mickey Mouse, those people didn't find this place, right? Yin Chujio asked the little black mouse who was chewing on a piece of misty ore. Little Black Rat shook its head proudly and continued to happily chew on the piece of misty ore. Yin Chujio saw that the piece of misty ore was getting smaller and smaller, and her heart ached. Damn, this Mickey Mouse was chewing on spiritual stones. What a waste. Yin Chujio's eyes suddenly lit up. Senior brothers, how do you think this Mickey Mouse found this place? Is it a legendary stone-eating mouse? Chapter 587. Seduce Little Black Rat, maybe it's possible. After all, it looks different from those silver-tailless mountain rats. Moreover, this place is extremely hidden. How did it find it? I guess it found this place by relying on its sense of smell, Xian said. When Yin Chujio heard this, her eyes rolled around. Damn, it would be great if she could seduce this Mickey Mouse. Not only would all these rare ores belong to her, but with this Mickey Mouse helping her, she would only need to go around mining and be able to make a fortune. Ha ha ha. She had said it before. How could one be unlucky all the time? Although she was being chased by that little bitch Su Yanran, she was about to make a fortune. Feng Ming and the other 2 could not help but tremble when they heard Yin Chujio's strange laughter. What scheme was junior sister little Jiu coming up with? Could it be that she wanted to take this little black rat for herself? Feng Ming pulled Yin Chujio to the side. Using an extremely low voice he said, Junior sister little Jiu, could it be that you have plans for that little black rat? I heard that the ancient demonic beast stone-eating rat's temperament is extremely strange. It's very difficult for humans to tame it. Moreover, if you force it to obey a master, it will suffer some sort of backlash. If it's not done properly, its body will be destroyed. Yes, I understand. I won't act rashly. Yin Chujio narrowed her eyes. I've already gotten 9 ancient strange beasts. What is a single little rat compared to those? Yin Chujio first used the gourmet seduction plan. She didn't expect that little black rat would only be interested in ore. It was completely uninterested in the meat buns that Yin Chujio took out. Yin Chujio then tried to describe the colorful world outside. Little black rat still looked uninterested. Yin Chujio gritted her teeth. She could only use her last move. She summoned little black bird. Cough cough, let little black bird hook up with little black rat. Little black bird scoffed at Yin Chujio's method. Other than being able to eat ores, little black rat was useless? It couldn't fight, and it couldn't be used as a mount. It was a glutton. Why did little black bird have to please it? Little black rat glared at little black bird with its bean-like eyes. Not only did it not succeed in hooking up with it, it even angered little black bird. The two of them fought fiercely, but little black rat couldn't fly. A few of its feathers were bitten off by little black rat. Little black rat's ears were also pecked off by little black bird. Little black rat squeaked and squeaked in pain. It glared at little black bird angrily and disappeared into a hole. Yin Chujio was so angry that she grabbed little black bird's short wings. Little black. You idiot. I asked you to hook up with Mickey Mouse, but you fought with it. Are you trying to rebel? Wah. You don't love me anymore. You heartless master. You like the new and dislike the old. You don't love me anymore. I'm so sad. Wah. Little black bird cawed. Feng Ming and the other two couldn't bear to hear it. Although they didn't understand what little black bird was saying, it sounded very sad, so they tried to persuade her. Junior sister little Gio, forget it. It's normal for spiritual beasts to fight. Besides, that little black rat isn't badly injured. I'll be back soon. Yin Chujio glared at little black bird and said with her mind, You idiot. If little black rat accepts us, these ores are all ours. We can find more valuable ores in the future. More ore means more money. With more money, we can eat anything and anywhere to our heart's content. Little black bird stared at her with its bean-like eyes and turned around. It said proudly, Humph. Isn't it just a little mouse? If I can provoke it, I can also smooth its fur. Master, look at me. I will definitely lure it back for you. Chapter 588. The shameless little black bird, as long as you successfully seduce Mickey Mouse, I will definitely not mistreat you in the future. When we return to the Linghua faction, I will bring you to a restaurant to eat whatever you want, Yin Chujio said with a smile. Little black bird immediately nodded its little head happily and agreed. It then cried out towards the hole that little black rat had crawled into. After a while, little black rat crawled out of the hole and glared at little black bird fiercely. Little black bird jumped in front of little black rat, and it thought it was going to fight again. It stared at little black bird vigilantly and was ready to rush up and bite it at any time. Little black rat did not expect that little black bird would shamelessly flap its wings and dance around on the spot. This action not only confused little black rat, but even Yin Chujio and the others were dumbfounded. Yin Chujio thought to herself, little black bird is really shameless. It had to be said it had learned well from its master, and it was better than her. After little black rat was stunned, it looked at little black bird with relish. It had always been alone, so it was inevitable that it felt lonely. A few days ago, when it saw that the tailless mountain rats were somewhat similar to it, it wanted to get close to them. However, it did not expect that it would be treated as a different species and the entire group would chase after it. If it was not for Yin Chujio, it would have died. Now that it saw that the little black bird was so friendly, it forgot about the unhappiness from before. It happily pushed a piece of ore in front of little black bird. Little black bird was very pleased with itself. Humph, there was nothing that I could not handle. This fellow had completely learned the essence of Yin Chujio's deceit, and even had or offered to it. It was as if it wanted to make friends with Yin Chujio, without expecting anything in return. This was the first time in so many years that little black rat had received such warmth. In just half a day, it was inseparable from little black bird. Yin Chujio touched her chin. She did not know if the little black rat was male or female. If it was female, little black bird would probably kidnap it in the future. It was too easy to fool. In the next few days, the little black rat would go outside every morning to investigate the situation. Although Su Yanran and the others had searched this place, they did not expect that there was another world under the stone wall. Therefore, they left after looking around and finding nothing. After some discussion with the group, Yin Chujio decided to stay here as a precaution until the trial period of the ancient mine was over, and they were sent out. The relationship between little black rat and little black bird was getting better. At first, little black bird did not have good intentions, but it was also lonely. As time passed, little black rat and little black bird had developed feelings for each other for real, and the two of them were inseparable. Time flew by. The next day was the last day of the month. Yin Chujio started to pull in the net. Mickey Mouse, tonight you and little black bird have fun. Because tomorrow we will be teleported out. You two will never see each other again. Yin Chujio had a wolf-like smile on her face. Little black rat was stunned at first, then looked at little black bird. Little black bird drooped its wings, nodded its little head, and cried a few times. Little black rat immediately became dispirited, and its bright black eyes became dim, with a lonely look on its face. Yin Chujio was secretly happy, and said with a smile, "Mickey Mouse, there is a way for you two to be together for a long time. It depends on whether you are willing to do it or not." Feng Ming and the other two stood at the side, and lit a candle for little black rat in their hearts. Looking at little black rat's reluctant appearance, it was most likely that it would be successfully tempted by junior sister little Gio. They had finally opened their eyes. There was actually such a way to tame a spiritual pet. Chapter 589. Taming Successful. Little black rat listened to Yin Chujio's words and looked at Yin Chujio with hope, waiting for her to continue. Yin Chujio said with a smile, "As long as you acknowledge me as your master, not only can you play with little black bird, but you can also leave this ancient mine and go see the outside world. Aren't you curious about what the outside world is like?" The outside world was not like this one. It was vast and desolate. The outside world was filled with flowers, willows, and flowers. It was full of splendor. There was nothing that one could not imagine or see. When the time comes, I will bring you and little black bird to travel, and eat all sorts of delicacies around the world. Just thinking about it is very enticing, isn't it? Although little black rat's eyes revealed a look of yearning, a trace of hesitation flashed in its eyes, but it still shook its head. Yin Chujio gave little black bird a look. Little black bird squeezed out 2 teardrops and cried out miserably. The sound was so sad that it made anyone who heard it cry. Feng Ming and the other two looked at each other. What kind of master had this kind of spiritual pet? This little black bird's acting skills were not inferior to junior sister Gio's. In fact, they had misunderstood. Little black bird was really crying. Firstly, he really could not bear to part with little black rat. Secondly, when he thought of the promise of being able to eat delicious food at a restaurant that had gone down the drain, he immediately felt sad. That was why he cried out loudly. When little black rat saw that little black bird was so sad, its eyes immediately turned red and tears fell. When Yin Chujio saw this, she could not help but feel a trace of guilt in her heart. Oh my God, these two are really wild beasts. Why do I feel like the queen mother who broke up the cowherd and weaver girl? Don't cry. Don't cry. Mickey Mouse, as long as you acknowledge me as your master, won't this problem be solved? If you acknowledge me as your master, it'll help you keep all these ores. It'll definitely guarantee that you won't starve. Moreover, the master is the kindest. Even if you don't have any abilities, I won't despise you. Yin Chujio said slowly and coyly, her face full of sincerity. Little black rat's eyes lit up. It squeaked twice and nodded. Yin Chujio was overjoyed. However, she had learned from her previous experience. There might be a strange phenomenon when this kind of ancient demon beast recognized its master. It would be bad if Su Yanran was summoned. Anyway, She would only be sent out tomorrow at midnight. I'll make it in time for little black rat to recognize me as its master. So Yin Chujio put forward her ideas to Mickey Mouse. Little black rat nodded in agreement, happy to let Yin Chujio get hold of the or be put away. Yin Chujio sighed as she collected the oars. TSK, Mickey is really naive. Isn't it afraid that I will run away after collecting all the ore? Fortunately, I am not that kind of person. Moreover, cough cough, I still want bigger fish. With Mickey's treasure hunting skills, I may find an even larger hoard. I have plenty of opportunities to make a fortune. Yin Chujio slept exceptionally soundly that night. In her dream, she dreamed that she had brought little black rat along to find countless treasures. The spirit stones in her storage ring were so full that they were about to overflow. She laughed loudly in her dream, scaring Feng Ming and the other two out of their stupor. At midnight the next day, Yin Chujio bit her index finger impatiently and dripped the blood into little black rat's mouth. Little black rat's front claws formed a seal, and a moment later, the contract was successfully formed. Yin Chujio's face was beamed like a flower. As long as the contract was completed, this was the first step to her road to riches. A soft little girl's voice sounded in Yin Chujio's mind. Master, I have something to tell you. After hearing little black rat's words, Yin Chujio sat on the ground with a look of despair. Chapter 590. Tricked by a black-hearted rat. Yin Chujio sat on the ground for a long while. Then she lay her hands on the ground and wailed. Oh my God, I thought I got lucky, but I didn't expect it to be false luck. Oh my God, my life is so hard. It's even harder than eating coptis. Mickey Mouse, you bastard, did you do it on purpose? Little Blackbird. You idiot. Why didn't you ask around before seducing it? You actually managed to abduct a child for me. My heart. My spirit stones. Little Blackbird drooped its head and looked guilty. It trembled as it hid beside Little Black Rat. Little Blackbird widened its bean-like eyes and used its wings to wrap around Little Black Rat. It looked like it was not afraid of anything. When Yin Chujio saw the two lovebirds, she howled even louder. You two are so heartless. Are you two ganging up on me? Why is my life so miserable? Feng Ming and the other two were dumbfounded. What was going on? Junior sister Little Jiao, what is going on? Why are you crying? Feng Ming asked curiously. Whoa. This damn thing told me that although it is a stone-eating rat, it is still a little cub. It must eat a certain amount of precious ores before it can use its innate ability. I asked it how much it needs to eat, and it told me that it needs to eat at least twice as much as what we saw. Oh my God. I reckon that even if I die, this thing will not be able to use its innate ability. I still have to spend money to buy rare ores to feed it. I really can't get what I want. Yin Chujio cried miserably as she glared at Little Black Rat, who was hiding beside the Little Black Bird. Feng Ming and the other two were also shocked. Junior sister Jiao had just shot herself in the foot. Feng Ming coughed dryly. Junior sister Jiao, what's done is done. Maybe things will turn around in the future. Yin Chujio wiped her tears with her sleeve and muttered. Things haven't been going well for me recently. First, I was chased by that little bitch Su Yanran, and now I've been tricked by that black-hearted rat Mickey. It must be that old bastard Tian Dao who tricked me. The corners of Feng Ming and the other two's eyes twitched violently, but they didn't dare to say anything. In the Qingxian continent, the only one who dared to publicly scold Tian Dao was probably only junior sister Jiao. Junior sister Little Jiao, it's almost time. Put those two into the spirit beast pouch. We are about to be transported out. Feng Ming reminded Yin Chujio. After a short while, the grievances in her heart eased a little. She glared at Little Black Bird and Little Black Rat, and put the two into the spirit beast pouch. The four of them stood together, waiting to be transported out. However, after a while nothing happened. Yin Chujio frowned. It's already time. Why haven't we been transported out? Did we remember the wrong date? It's not time yet. Feng Ming frowned. It's time and the date is right too. We should have already been teleported out. Maybe there's a time delay? Gung Yi said this without much confidence. In thousands of years, there had never been a delay. The disciples were always sent out on time. The four people suddenly had an ominous premonition. Could it be that something bad happened? Mickey, go out and see if there are any humans around. Yin Chujio let Mickey out to take a look around. For hours later, Little Black Rat came back. Master, there are no humans outside. Chapter 591. Left behind Yin Chujio, and the others were instantly dumbfounded. What did that mean? Could it be that everyone else had been teleported out, and they were the only ones left there? Heavens, if that was really the case, would they not be trapped there for years? Moreover, who knew if there would be any other changes in this place? They might even be trapped there and die. At that moment, the four of them did not care if they would run into Su Yanran anymore. They hurriedly passed through the 9 stone walls and reached the outside. Yin Chujio climbed to the top of the mine and looked around. Indeed, she did not see a single person. The four of them were unwilling to accept this. They searched within a radius of 100 miles, but still found nothing. The four of them could only accept the fact that they were trapped in the ancient mine. Yin Chujio simply wanted to cry, but she had no tears. Oh my God! Why did it have to be like this? Could it have something to do with us being in that mine? Shixian thought for a while and said. Feng Ming slapped his thigh. Maybe it really is meant to be like that. Think about it, there are so many rare ores here. If we can be teleported out, wouldn't it be too easy for petty thieves as well? Oh right. Junior sister Little Jio, how did Little Black find that place? Yin Chujio pouted. It said that it had been there since it was conscious. Later, it felt bored and dug a hole for fun. It doesn't know anything else. It's just a glutton. The four of them discussed for some time, but there was no way out. If they could not find a way, they could only wait for a decade before being able to exit the place. Yin Chujio's sorrow came from within. Oh my God. 10 years later, perhaps the gigolo would have been seduced by some woman. By the time she exits the place, he would be the father of a few children. It was all that little bitch Su Yanran's fault. If she had not chased after her, she would not have hidden in that cave. If she had not hidden in that cave, they would not have been trapped there. At that moment, outside the ancient mine, Elder Xiao and Elder Chu were as anxious as ants on a hot pot. After counting the number of people, they found that more than 10 disciples were dead or injured. However, what worried them the most was that Yin Chujio, Feng Ming, Shixian, and Gengyi did not come out. Could it be that the four of them had died there? The successor disciples of the 3 peak masters and an ancestor. This would be a death sentence if something really happened. Elder Chu and Elder Xiao asked the disciples who entered the trial one by one if they had seen Yin Chujio, and the other 2. Some disciples said that they had met Yin Chujio. Yin Chujio said that she was chased by the Heavenly Gate sect and asked them to find a place to hide, but they had not met her since. Elder Xiao and Elder Chu immediately went to the Heavenly Gate sect to settle scores. The leader of the Heavenly Gate sect was an old acquaintance, Elder Zhang. When he heard that Yin Chujio did not exit, he could not help but laugh. The heavens are really fair. This must be that bitch, Yin Chujio's retribution. Elder Chu was already extremely anxious. When he heard Elder Zhang say that, he immediately slapped him. If Elder Xiao still had his previous temperament, he would definitely have stopped Elder Chu. However, ever since he had an epiphany, his temperament had become more casual. Not only did he not stop him, he even helped Elder Chu attack Elder Zhang. Elder Zhang cursed angrily. Xiao Pancher Chu Bewley, you 2 old scoundrels. How dare you fight? All of you attack. Teach these 2 old scoundrels a lesson. Seeing this, the other elders of the Heavenly Gates sect rushed forward. The people of the Spirit Radiance sect naturally did not want to be outdone, so the people of both sides stood together. In the end, it was the leading elders of the Skyblade sect and the Bixiao Palace who stopped them. Elder Chu scolded angrily. It must be that old bastard Du Gai who told you to kill that little Jiu girl in the ancient mine. Our Spirit Radiance sect will not forgive you. Chapter 592. It's the infighting between your disciples. Su Yanran walked out of the crowd and said with a cold smile. Elder Chu, I admit that I went after Yin Chujio, but we didn't kill her. After entering the ancient mine for half a month, we haven't seen her, Feng Ming, and the others since. If you want to find their whereabouts, you might as well ask Spirit Radiance Sect Shuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang. The hatred between the two of them and Yun Chujio is even greater. The relationship between your disciples is really interesting. After Elder Chu heard Su Yanren's words, he subconsciously turned around to look at Shuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang. He saw that the two of them were avoiding his gaze. It was obvious that they were hiding something from him with their previous answers. He was instantly so angry that he gritted his teeth. No matter what, the Heavenly Gate sect openly went after our Spirit Radiance sect's disciples in the ancient mine. Our sect will not just suck it up. If Heavenly Gate sect doesn't give us an explanation, then we will cut off the earth fire supply, Elder Chu said furiously. Elder Zhang sneered. Su Yanran made it very clear that Yun Chujio and the others weren't killed by our disciples. This was caused by the infighting among your disciples. What does that have to do with us? If you really want to add fuel to fire, then why don't you wait for our sect master Du to negotiate with sect master Xianyuan? Let's go. After Elder Zhang finished speaking, he led the people of the Heavenly Gates sect away. Although Su Yanran felt a little regretful that she did not kill Yun Chujio with her own hands, Yun Chujio was not ejected from the trial, so she must have died inside. It was truly retribution. The people of the Skyblade sect and Bixiao Palace advised Elder Xiao and Elder Chu a few words before they left the ancient mine with their respective disciples. Elder Chu ordered the people of the Spirit Radiance sect to set up camp and interrogate Ding Lang and Zhuo Piaoyu individually. The two of them insisted that Su Yanran was trying to sow discord, and the reason why the two of them looked so anxious was because they were worried about the safety of Yun Chujio and the others. Elder Chu could not help but sneer. After imprisoning the two of them and sending someone to watch over them, he then interrogated Wu Yinyu, Lu Shi, and the other three disciples individually. Wu Yinyu was timid and thought that she had the least responsibility, so she told them everything. Lu Shi and the other three disciples also could not resist Elder Xiao's pressure, and told them the truth. What? Zhuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang actually did such a vicious thing? They actually forced little Jiao to commit suicide to save their own lives. Elder Chu was so angry that his beard was standing on its end. Elder Xiao and the others were also shocked. Zhuo Piaoyu had always had a good reputation among the younger generation of disciples. Not only was she good-looking, but she was also kind and generous. No one would say that she was good, but they did not expect that she would do such a vicious thing. Although they were a little shocked, Su Yanran was not the only one who said so. Even Wu Yinyu and the others had confessed, so it must be true. Elder Chu immediately ordered the disciples to bring Zhuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang up. The two of them originally wanted to quibble, but when they saw Wu Yinyu and the others, they knew that the matter must have been exposed. Zhuo Piaoyu glared at Wu Yinyu viciously. Slut! She did not expect that Zhuo Piaoyu, who was usually obedient to her, would betray her at such a critical moment. Sooner or later, she would kill this slut. Wu Yinyu was so frightened by Zhuo Piaoyu's vicious gaze that she trembled. However, compared to the punishment given by the sect, she would rather offend Zhuo Piaoyu. Betraying a fellow disciple was a huge crime, and Zhuo Piaoyu was definitely going to suffer this time. Wu Yinyu, Lu Shi, and the others have already told the truth about what happened. What else do the two of you have to say? Elder Xiao's face was as dark as coal as he asked sternly. Chapter 593. Black Thing will definitely be fine. Zhuo Piaoyu revealed an expression of self-blame and guilt. Elders. Yes, I admit that I have indeed done something that has let junior sister Yun down. I shouldn't have forced her to commit suicide. However, I didn't do it for myself. At that time, Su Yanran led over 100 disciples from the Heavenly Gates sect to besiege us. I had no choice but to make this decision. At that time, I was also in a dilemma. However, I felt that compared to the lives of my 9 senior brothers and sisters, it was the best for junior sister Yin to sacrifice herself. I believe that the others also had the same thoughts. However, they were too embarrassed to speak out due to their feelings, so I decided to be the villain. I had already thought it through then. As long as we safely leave the ancient mine, I would write a letter to my father, asking him to do his best to compensate junior sister Yun's family. Moreover, I will also do my best to kill Su Yanran and avenge junior sister Yin. Elder Xiao's eyes were filled with anger and disappointment after hearing Zhuo Piaoyu's words. Peak Master Yuan had always treated Zhuo Piaoyu as his own daughter, and had only taken in this one true disciple. He had put all his effort into Zhuo Piaoyu, but he had never thought that in the end, Peak Master Yuan would actually raise an ingrate. She had betrayed Yin Chujio for her life, and in the future, she would betray Peak Master Yuan and Spirit Radiance sect for profit. Elder Xiao then turned his gaze to Ding Lang. Ding Lang, out of the 10 people who were trapped, you are the oldest, and you have been in the sect for the longest time. Why didn't you stop Zhuo Piaoyu? Instead, you helped the villain and bullied Yin Chujio. You even attacked Feng Ming and the other two? Ding Lang sneered in his heart. Yes, I have been in the sect for the longest time, but did you give me the same treatment? We are both true disciples, but I can't compare to Feng Ming and the other two. I can't even compare to that trash Yin Chujio. That old man Elder Qi treats Yin Chujio 100 times better than me. Why? However, he naturally would not say these things out loud. He also revealed a look of self-blame and guilt as he said, Elders, junior sister Zhua and I had the same thinking, that is to use the smallest sacrifice in exchange for the lives of more people. At that time, the situation was urgent. I saw that Feng Ming and the others were stubborn, so I had no choice but to make a move to calm him down. The faces of the elders were filled with deep disappointment and anger. These two people were clearly afraid of death, but they spoke in a dignified manner, and had no intention of repentance. They were truly hopeless. Elder Chu was so angry that he wanted to slap Zhuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang to death on the spot. What was the point of keeping such scumbags who betrayed their fellow disciples? The other elders hurriedly tried to dissuade him, and let the disciples take Zhuo Piaoyu and the others away. Old Chu, don't be rash. This matter needs to be decided by the sect master. Moreover, it's not like you don't know Zhuo Piaoyu's identity. The strength of the Zhuo family is comparable to a medium-sized sect. Offending them too harshly is also a problem. The most important thing now is to find a way to find out the whereabouts of Yin Chujio and the others. As for Zhuo Piaoyu and the others, it wouldn't be too late to deal with them when we return to the sect. Elder Chu took a deep breath and calmed himself down before saying, Let's wait here for a while longer. I believe little Jio won't die so easily. How can a little pervert who can't even be killed by lightning die so easily? And Feng was about to go crazy from anxiety. He went straight to Elder Chu and asked him about what had happened. Then he sent a voice transmission talisman to Di Baiming and told him everything that had happened. After Di Baiming received Feng's message, although he was very anxious, he had a strange feeling when he thought of Yin Chujia's trials. Black Thing would definitely be fine. Perhaps there was a deviation somewhere, or maybe she was just trapped in the ancient mine. However, that little devil would live like a fish in water, wherever she went. She would definitely be fine. Chapter 594. Mysterious confidence in Feng could not help but be dumbfounded when he received Di Baiming's voice transmission talisman. He actually only replied with one word. Wait. Wait for what? Esteemed self, don't tell me you have a new lover? How can you be so calm and mysterious? And Feng was furious. When the moon was high and the wind was calm, he sneaked into the Spirit Radiance sect's headquarters and gave Ding Lang, Lu Shi, and the others a good beating. Damn it. Who told you to harm our Miss Jio? Who told you to make me so anxious? I'll beat you to death. Elder Xiao and the others naturally noticed Feng, but they pretended not to see him. Anyway, a few slaps and kicks would not kill anyone. If it were not for their status, they would have beat these kids long ago. Although Di Baiming's reply was very calm, he still rushed to the ancient mine the next morning. When Zhuo Piaoyu, Ding Lang, and the others were stared at by Di Baiming's cold gaze, their bodies trembled. There was not a trace of emotion in this man's gaze. It was like looking at a dead person. Elder Xiao and Elder Chu looked at each other. It was likely that Zhuo Piaoyu and the others would not survive. However, young Master Di's spiritual power was unfathomable. They could not stop him even if they wanted to. They had brought this upon themselves. They deserved it. However, What everyone did not expect was that after Di Biming glanced at them, he did not make a move. Instead, he walked to the boundary of the ancient mine and observed it carefully. Your Excellency, do you need me to kill those bastards? And Feng moved closer to Di Biming and asked. Leave them for the black thing to deal with herself. I believe that it will be more satisfying if she does it herself. Di Biming said faintly. And Feng was about to cry. Your Majesty, where did you get such mysterious confidence from? Are you sure that Miss Jiu isn't dead? Your Majesty, why don't we think of a way to break this enchantment? And Feng poked the enchantment with his hand and said. Di Biming frowned. Do you think that this ancient enchantment is so easy to break? If it can be broken, I'm afraid it won't last until now. Even if we gather all the experts of Qingxian continent, we won't be able to break it even in 100 years. Then what should we do? Should we just wait? And Feng felt that the emperor was not anxious, but the eunuch was. Why was His Majesty calmer than me? We can only wait here. The worst-case scenario is that the enchantment will open again after 10 years. However, the black thing might just surprise us. Di Biming curled his lips and said. Achoo. Someone must be thinking about me. Sob sob. Perhaps the gigolo knows that something has happened to me and is howling outside. My poor gigolo, you must hold on to your moral integrity. Don't let some bitch do that to you. Yin Chujio mumbled. Feng Ming and the other two were originally eating porridge. Hearing Yin Chujio's words, the porridge in their mouths immediately spurted out. Feng Ming choked until he coughed. Cough, 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 cough. Junior sister Little Jiu, you are indeed bold and unrestrained. Feng Ming felt that the young master's mental endurance was definitely different from ordinary people. It was truly admirable. Yin Chujio glared at him and continued to mutter. Sigh. Don't tell me we are going to waste 10 years in this damned place? When I go out, won't I be old? The corner of Feng Ming's eyes twitched violently. Junior sister Little Jiu, 10 years is a very long time for the people of the secular world. For us, it's just a very short period of time. Some cultivators cultivate in seclusion for several years at a time. For example, your master, elder son, probably won't come out of seclusion for another 5 years. Hearing Feng Ming's words, Yin Chujio felt a little comforted in her heart. She believed that the gigolo would be able to keep his innocence. However, would 10 years have to be wasted just like that? Yin Chujio blinked her eyes. Suddenly, her eyes lit up and she threw her head back and laughed. Chapter 595. The enslaved little black rat Feng Ming, and the other two were shocked. Did junior sister Little Jiu go mad? She was crying and laughing at the same time. It was simply too scary. Junior sister Little Jiu, are you alright? Young Master D is deeply in love with you. He definitely won't betray you. Feng Ming felt that Yin Chujio was probably too worried that Di Biming would fall in love with someone else, so he quickly tried to persuade her. Yes, junior sister Little Jiu, you don't have to worry. If young Master D really does something that will let you down, we will help you beat him up. Gung Yi silently added in his heart. Although it would be very likely that we would be beaten up instead. Shi Xian handed Yin Chujio a meat bun. Junior sister Little Jiu, you should turn your grief and anger into appetite. Come, eat more. Right. Let's hurry up and eat. Eat well so we can dig. We can't waste the 10 years we're going to spend here. Fuck, we should use these 10 years to dig out all the top-grade mines in this ancient place. As the saying goes, the old man lost his mare, but it all turned out for the best. This is what we are doing. Now this ancient mine is our world. As long as we don't provoke a large group of demonic beasts, we will be able to move unhindered. We will dig wherever there is a good mine. At that time, the people behind us will come to dig again, and there will be nothing left. Ha ha ha. Yin Chujio was so happy that she was dancing with joy. Feng Ming and the other two were stunned at first, then they were also very happy. Junior sister Little Jiu made sense. Sometimes the same thing, if viewed from another angle, had a completely different conclusion. If one looked at this matter with a pessimistic view, it would be that they were forced to be trapped in the ancient mine. However, with junior sister Little Nine's logic, They were able to benefit from this disaster. Not only could they continue to carry out trials, they could also increase their actual combat experience. Moreover, they could also dig up a lot of rare ores. The four of them hurriedly finished their breakfast and began to search for their next target. As there were no other competitors, the four of them calmly began to search through the entire mine. They started from a mine that was close to the cave. They used a pickaxe to dig a hole. If there were rare ores inside, they would continue digging. If it was not valuable, they would change their target. However, this was also a waste of time. Normally, the rare ore would not be on the surface of the rock. They would have to dig very deep to determine if it was valuable or not. Yin Chujio blinked her eyes and looked at Little Black, who was having fun with Little Black. She smiled evilly. Mickey Mouse, it's time for you to repay your master. Aren't you the best at digging holes? After we choose a good location, you can dig a hole and go in. If you find rare ore, your food reserve will be added to. Little Black lived a miserable life of being enslaved from then on. Every day, apart from eating and sleeping, he would dig a hole. Master, didn't we agree that you would treat me well? We agreed that Brother Little Black and I would play without any worries. Master, you big liar. Fortunately, the Little Black Rat finally found a hazy mine and was finally free from the sea of bitterness. From then on, Yin Chujio and the other three began their mining career. Although they had encountered a few demonic beast attacks, even if the four of them could not defeat them, they could still hide in the cave and avoid danger. Therefore they were pretty safe. Time passed very quickly. Yin Chujio counted with her fingers. There was still half a month before the gigolo's birthday. She was a little depressed. Initially, she wanted to give the gigolo a birthday present, but now that she could not see him anymore, why would she give him a present? However, she could give it to him when she went out. What kind of birthday present should she give him? Chapter 596. Love you to the point of falling apart. Yin Chujio could not think of any good ideas. However, it was also a coincidence that she found a heart-shaped haze stone when she was mining. This girl took a large kitchen knife and carved the words "Happy Birthday" in the middle, and signed, "Love you to the point of falling apart, Little Gio." She appreciated it with satisfaction for a while, and then carefully put away the stone. Sob sob, I really want to see how this gigolo breaks down. Damn it. I don't know if this ancient mine has a spirit tool. If we can find a spirit tool, it will definitely have a way to teleport us out. Thus, this fellow began to shout toward the sky. Hey, is there a spirit tool in this ancient mine? Is it so ugly that it can't be seen? Get out here right now. Otherwise, I will scold you 100 times every day. The corners of Feng Ming and the other two's eyes twitched. What was junior sister Jiu up to this time? This ancient mine did not have spirit, so how could there be a spirit tool? Sure enough, Yin Chujio shouted for a long time, but there was no response. Yin Chujio was a little discouraged. It seemed that this ancient mine was different from the Great Void Mystic Realm. The Great Void Mystic Realm was the interstitial space within the Mystic Realm. This ancient mine was not an artifact, so it would not produce a spirit tool. Sigh. It seems that this shabby place does not have a spirit tool. Speaking of which, this place is a wasteland. It's impossible for a spirit tool to be produced. I know. If I can find the formation core of this ancient mine, it will be easy. Activate the teleportation formation, and we can be transported out. If it really doesn't work, we can also leave by closing all the formation cores. Yin Chujio mumbled. Junior sister Little Gio, wake up. Are you talking in your sleep in broad daylight? The formations in this ancient mine are all ancient formations from 10,000 years ago. Not to mention you, even 10,000 Elder Chus combined wouldn't be able to find the formation. If they were discovered so easily, this ancient mine would have been mined out long ago. Feng Ming felt that Yin Chujio was simply dreaming. Yes, junior sister Little Gio, don't waste your effort. If you have this much effort, you might as well spend it digging the haze mine more. Gengyi also felt that Yin Chujio's idea was too whimsical. Junior sister Little Gio, are you tired? If you're tired, just sit by the side and rest for a while. We can dig. Shi Xian felt that this was Yin Chujio's little trick to be lazy. Yin Chujiu was so angry that she snorted. Senior brother Shixian, am I the kind of person who slacks off? All right, I'm indeed a little tired. I will go to the top of the mountain and wander around to see if I can discover anything new. Shixian and the other two were speechless. Yin Chujiu climbed to the top of the mountain and looked at the surrounding terrain. Her eyes hurt from looking at it, but she did not find any valuable clues. Speaking of which, how could the ancient formation be so easy to break? From that day on, Yin Chujiu stood on the top of the mine and looked around every day. Sometimes, she even took out a pen and paper from her storage ring to write and draw. Fengming, do you think junior sister little Jiu is really looking for the array core? Gengyi looked up at Yin Chujiu, who was like a fraud on the top of the mountain, and said. Fengming said in a low voice, I think looking for the array core is probably a sham, but being lazy is real. Look at her 3 pets. Aren't they all basking in the sun? It's not that I want to say this, but those 2 are already so black. What's the point of basking in the sun? Even junior sister little Jiu isn't afraid of turning into a tan girl when she basks in the sun so much. Yin Chujiu's spiritual power was higher than theirs, so Yin Chujiu heard Fengming's self-righteous low voice. Yin Chujiu gritted her teeth and said, Senior brother bird, do you not want to eat lunch anymore? Chapter 597. I've been wronged to death. Fengming was instantly dumbfounded. Shixian and Gengyi gave him a self-seeking look, and then silently began to mine. There was no other way. The economic base determined the superstructure. Who asked them to only prepare 3 months' worth of dry food? Yin Chujiu's storage ring not only contained warm food, but also several large vats of salt. If they didn't please junior sister little Jiu, they would become pulsatillas in the future. It was scary just thinking about it, so Fengming, you should seek your own blessings. Junior sister Jiu, it's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. I'm praising your beauty. Junior sister Jiu is really beautiful as a flower. Good-looking and intelligent, clever and quick-witted. A peerless and magnificent beauty. Absolutely devastatingly beautiful and loved by all. Fengming recited all the idioms in his mind about praising women. Yin Chujiu snorted coldly. Senior brother bird, my ears are sharp. If you say bad things about me in the future, just wait to starve. Junior sister Jiu, I promise that there won't be a next time. You stay up there and bask in the sun. Look for the formation eye. Fengming was about to cry from his stupidity and almost said something bad again. During lunch, Fengming kept fawning over Yin Chujiu, afraid that he would be targeted by this little pervert. Yin Chujiu said with a smile, Senior brother Fengming, if you chase girls in the future with this kind of shameless spirit, you will definitely succeed. Fengming said proudly, Yay, only you can make me suffer. Other girls are always chasing after me, okay? That's right, just like Zhuo Piao's black-hearted two-faced personality. She clearly likes you, but she doesn't want to confess. Instead, she hates me. Senior Fengming, I suffered an undeserved disaster. I've been wronged to death. Yin Chujiu said as her face twitched. Fengming's face revealed an angry expression. I really misjudged Zhuo Piao. I've always thought that she was gentle and kind, but I didn't expect her to be so vicious. There's also Ding Lang. He usually looks alright, but I didn't expect him to be so heartless. Senior brothers, do you still remember that Zhuo Piao gave me a lot of food, but I didn't eat it? Do you know why? Because it was all poisoned. Only I, who was knowledgeable, discovered the abnormality. If it was anyone else, they would have died long ago. Yin Chujiu said shamelessly. However, the focus of Fengming and the other two was on something else. What? Zhuo Piao poisoned your food? Then why didn't you expose her? Don't get riled up. If I had exposed her then, she might have retaliated and accused me of being a thief and accusing her of being a thief. After all, I was learning alchemy from Elder Qi. If Ding Lang had said a few more words, you might not have believed what I said. Since that's the case, why should I make things difficult for you? Yin Chujiu said indifferently. Fengming and the other two were stunned. If what Yin Chujiu said was true, They might not have believed that Zhuo Piaoyu would do something like poison someone. If it wasn't for the fact that they were surrounded by Su Yanran, they probably would not have believed it no matter what they said. Zhuo Piaoyu, who had always been known for her kindness and generosity, was such a vicious woman. At the same time, the three of them could not help but feel a little ashamed. They were clearly under the orders of the sect leader to protect junior sister Little Jiu. But throughout this journey, it was junior sister Little Jiu who was helping them. While the three of them were deep in thought, they heard Yin Chujiu scream, "Not good. We're in danger. Run quickly." Chapter 598. Escaping for their lives. Feng Ming and the other two were shocked. They turned around and saw 10 Tier 8 single-horned demon lizards quickly climbing down from the stone wall. Previously, when they encountered demonic beasts that they could not defeat, they relied on climbing to the top of the mountain to escape. This time they could not do it. The single-horned demon lizards were best at climbing, so they could only run toward the direction of the cave. Yin Chujiu recalled the single-horned demon lizards that she had encountered in the Great Void Mystic Realm previously. She had expended a lot of effort, and had only managed to kill them with great difficulty. Although her spiritual power had increased this time, she would still be risking her life. If there were 4 lizards, they could still deal with it, but there was no chance of winning if there were 10 of them. Fuck. Why are there a group of single-horned devil lizards targeting us? What bad luck. Yin Chujiu mumbled as she ran. Junior sister Little Jiu, don't worry about how they are targeting us now. Let's think of a way to escape first. They are too fast. We will be caught by them before we can even reach the cave, Shi Xian said anxiously. Yin Chujiu remembered that when she was in the desert, she used the corpses of other demonic beasts to escape. Therefore, she kept throwing the corpses of the mine wolves out of her storage ring. She wanted to delay the speed of these single-horned demon lizards. As long as they stop, we can run back to the cave. Who would have thought that these single-horned demon lizards were much smarter than the ones they met in the desert? They left 2 single-horned demon lizards to guard the corpses of the wolves while the other 8 continued to pursue Yin Chujiu, and the other 3. Damn it. They are too smart. We can't even defeat 8 of them. I'll scare them with the heavenly thunder first. You guys go ahead. I'm faster than you guys, so I can catch up later. Yin Chujiu said to Feng Ming and the other 2. Feng Ming and the other 2 were indeed not as fast as Yin Chujiu. They felt that what Yin Chujiu said made sense. After instructing her to be careful, they quickly ran forward. Hey, you stinking reptiles, look at my little Jiu thunderbolts. Yin Chujiu waved her left and right hands repeatedly. Streaks of purple lightning struck at the single-horned demon lizard that was crawling toward her. The single-horned demon lizard was stretching its huge tongue toward Yin Chujiu. When it was struck by the lightning, a burnt smell immediately wafted through the air. The single-horned demon lizard screamed in pain. Yin Chujiu's heart was filled with joy. It seemed that her little Jiu thunderbolts had improved quite a lot. The last time when it was struck in the desert, the single-horned demon lizard did not have such a strong reaction. The 8 single-horned demon lizards were momentarily stunned. How could a human strike lightning? Or even purple heavenly lightning bolts? Yin Chujiu took advantage of the moment when they were stunned, and ran all the way to catch up with Feng Ming and the others. The 8 single-horned demon lizards quickly regained their senses, and continued to chase after Yin Chujiu and the others. The single-horned demon lizard that had its tongue cut by Yin Chujiu charged like crazy. Seeing that the distance had shrunk again, Yin Chujiu used the same trick again. She stopped and struck the single-horned demon lizards that were charging at the front with lightning. However, this time, the lizards have gained experience and stopped attacking with its tongue. Yin Chujiu's lightning struck the single-horned demon lizard's hard exterior. Although it was in pain, it did not cause any substantial damage. The single-horned demon lizard's eyes were filled with a fierce light. It used its huge tail to lash at Yin Chujiu. Yin Chujiu hurriedly dodged and did not dare to continue fighting. She continued to run forward. On the 3rd time, when Yin Chujiu still wanted to stall for time, the 8 single-horned demon lizards no longer feared Yin Chujiu's purple lightning. They all rushed toward Yin Chujiu. Fortunately, Little Black used a curse to make the single-horned demon lizard at the front stagger, and Yin Chujio was able to escape. Chapter 599. You are my life-saving rat. The distance between the 8 single-horned demon lizards and the 4 of them was getting closer and closer. Yin Chujio could no longer delay any longer, and the 4 of them could only run as fast as they could. Master, use my sticky silk net. Unfortunately, it was broken last time, so I only repaired one. The ball of wool handed Yin Chujio a sticky silk net. Yin Chujio threw it at the foot of the single-horned demon lizard that was running at the front. As expected, the single-horned demon lizard was trapped by the sticky silk. Yin Chujio said to the ball of yarn, "Ball of yarn, quickly lend your 6-piece wool set to me. I will not mistreat you." Although the ball of yarn could not bear to part with it, it knew that it was in great danger at the moment, so it gave its 6-piece wool set to Yin Chujio. Yin Chujio threw the 6-piece wool set at the feet of the single-horned demon lizards. The wool set was made according to the size of the ball of yarn, so it was much smaller than the sticky silk net. It could not completely trap the single-horned demon lizard, but it could delay time. Yin Chujio and the other 3 finally escaped into the cave. As soon as they entered the cave, the 4 of them collapsed on the ground. Running like this was simply killing them. Before they could catch their breath, they realized that there was a sound coming from underground. Not good. They are digging a hole. They must be trying to crawl in from underground to eat us. Shixian said in fear. The single-horned demon lizards are digging very fast. We have to think of a way quickly. Otherwise, if we are trapped inside, it would be like turtles caught in a jar. They could shut the door and beat the dog one. Normally, everyone would laugh at Feng Ming's inappropriate words. However, they were not in the mood at the moment. Feng Ming was right. Once the horned demon lizard crawled in, they would really be caught like a turtle in a jar. Yin Chujio was also at her wit's end. She had used all the moves she had. Could it be that the end of 4 of them would be to be eaten by the horned demon lizard? That would be too fucking depressing. Before they could come to a conclusion, the soil under their feet started to swell up. The 4 of them thought that there must be a single-horned demon lizard guarding outside, so they could only brace themselves and continue running into the cave. At least the space inside the cave was relatively spacious, so there was still room for them to dodge when they fought. The 4 of them ran for a while and finally arrived at the deepest part of the cave. They did not have time to catch their breath and quickly discuss their countermeasures. Yin Chujio gritted her teeth and said, "We can only do this now. There must be a sequence for the horned devil lizards that appear from the ground. The 4 of us will concentrate our spiritual power to attack the first horned devil lizards to be unearthed, killing them one by one." Feng Ming did not have any other good ideas and could only follow Yin Chujio's plan. However, this was a desperate solution. At most, they could kill one horned devil lizard, and the rest of the horned devil lizards would crawl out from the soil. When the time came, he still would not be able to defeat them. At that moment, Little Black said to Yin Chujio, "Master, let me out. I will lead you to a place where these single-horned devil lizards can't enter." At that moment, Little Black Rat's voice was like the sound of nature to Yin Chujio. Yin Chujio quickly brought the black rat out, and then signaled Feng Ming and the other 2 to follow it. "Mickey Mouse, I take back what I said before. You're not a giant rat. You're my life-saving rat. In the future, I definitely won't mistreat you." The little black rat brought the 4 of them straight to the center of the pit, and used its claws to pull apart the stones on top. Inside, there was actually an exquisite carving with a lotus flower pattern. Little black rat bit its front claw open. It dripped its blood onto the heart of a lotus flower. Yin Chujio and the other 3 only felt a white light flash before their eyes. When they opened their eyes again, they were instantly stunned by the scene before them. Chapter 600. Lotus growing with every step. Yin Chujio and the other 3 discovered that this was a long winding corridor. The green stone slab on the ground was carved with a huge lotus flower pattern. Walking up to it, it gave people the illusion of lotus growing with every step. Yin Chujio frowned. Why did the lotus flower pattern on the green stone slab and the lotus flower that Mickey had dripped blood on earlier look so familiar? Yin Chujia's eyes lit up. This lotus flower pattern was exactly the same as the lotus flower pattern on the edge of the great void mirror. It was just that the one on the green stone slab was bigger. Yin Chujio curled her lips. Could it be that there were no other flowers in ancient times? Everything was carved with lotus flowers, so monotonous. Mickey led the way in front, and the four of them continued to follow it. After walking for about 15 minutes, a huge stone room appeared in front of them. In the middle of the stone room was a huge formation plate. Yin Chujia's eyes lit up and she was dancing with joy. Ah, I've been searching for this formation plate for so long. I finally found it without any effort. Feng Ming and the other two were also very happy. Just as they were about to speak, they saw Yin Chujio pick up Mickey by the ear and scolded. You black-hearted rat, I was almost burnt into a mummy on the top of the mine earlier. Why didn't you tell me that you know where the formation plate is? Little Black's little eyes rolled around. Master, I'm the guardian beast of this formation plate. I can't tell you unless it's absolutely necessary. If you destroy the formation plate, this ancient mine will be destroyed in an instant. We will be punished by the heavens. Yin Chujio looked at Little Black with disdain. You're a foodie and a guardian beast? Are you kidding me? If I did not save you, you would have been eaten by a group of Tier 3 stone-eating rats. Little Black Rat flapped its limbs and said proudly, That's because I'm still young. I am going to grow up. Those ugly monsters outside are no match for me. Yin Chujio curled her lips. If you become stronger, the grass on your master's grave will have grown several times. Do you know how to operate this disc array? No. Master, you must not make reckless moves. According to my inheritance, this disc array is not as simple as guarding the ancient mine. If something goes wrong, something big might happen. That's why I didn't dare to tell you. Little Black Rat said seriously. Yin Chujio saw that it was serious and nodded. I think there should be no problem, right? At most, we can wait for 10 years before we go out. Yin Chujio put it on the ground and jumped to the disc array. Little Black Rat was worried and jumped to the disc array too. Feng Ming and the other two stood around the disc array. They were excited. The huge disc array seemed to have a prehistoric aura surrounding it. The three of them were immersed in it. After a moment, they felt the spiritual power in their bodies start to surge. The three of them were happy. They were actually about to break through. The three of them spoke to Yin Chujio and immediately sat down to meditate, preparing to break through. At that moment, Yin Chujio was looking at the huge groove in the middle of the formation plate and drooling. Damn, this is some nouveau riche stuff. She did not know how deep the groove was, but it was filled with supreme-grade spirit stones. If it was not for Little Black Rat who was staring at her sternly, this fellow would definitely have stretched out her evil claws to steal a few pieces and hide them. Yin Chujio finally forced herself to look away from the pile of supreme-grade spirit stones, and looked at the formation leaves around her. There were a total of 81 formation leaves around the formation disc. The formation leaves were filled with runes. Moreover, those runes were ancient runes, and Yin Chujio did not recognize any of them. Chapter 601. Bamboo shoot stir-fried meat. If it weren't for Little Black Rat's warning, Yin Chujio would definitely have planned this. She would plunder all the supreme-grade spirit stones, and the array board would naturally end. Then she would be able to leave happily. However, Little Black Rat's words didn't seem like a lie. If the array board really ended, something big might happen. If that happened, she might have to give up her life. Fuck. Were they going to be trapped here for 10 years? No matter what, they could still go out to mine, but now that there were 10 single-horned demon lizards guarding the area, they would not be able to leave for a while. Moreover, now that they had already discovered this place, they would definitely not leave for a while. Feng Ming and the other two were still breaking through. Yin Chujio jumped down from the formation plate and hopped on the ground in boredom. The green stone slabs were placed one by one, making it a perfect place to play. Little Black Rat and Little Black Bird also hopped around together. The three of them were having a great time. As they hopped around, Yin Chujio realized that the lotus flowers looked the same. However, if one looked carefully, one would notice that there were slight differences. Some of the petals were slightly rounder, and some of them were sharper. Could it be that the person who carved these green stone slabs was doing it on purpose? Mickey, are there any secrets to this green stone slab? Yin Chujio asked Little Black Rat. Little Black Rat's eyes flickered. Master, how could there be any secrets? Isn't it just an ordinary green stone slab? Yin Chujio was very smart. She saw Little Black avoiding her gaze, so there must be something. Mickey Mouse, if you don't tell me the truth, I will pry open all these green stone slabs. Yin Chujio took out a large kitchen knife and was about to make a move. Little Black Rat was anxious. Master, I'll tell you. Actually, underneath these green stone slabs is the real array board. The big one up there is a trap. If it is destroyed, it will fall into the 9 evils Yama array and will die. Yin Chujio was stunned. No matter who came in and saw the huge formation disc, they would not suspect that it was fake. They would operate or destroy it. The person who designed this formation core was really despicable. You black-hearted rat, if I didn't discover this, you would definitely continue to deceive me. Tell me, what are your intentions? Do you not want us to get out? Yin Chujio glared at Little Black Rat and said. Little Black Rat blinked his eyes guiltily. Yes, I don't want you to go out. You little heartless rat. If you don't give me a good reason today, I will let you find out what bamboo shoot stir-fried meat is. Little Black Bird stared at the side with his pizzazed eyes and said excitedly, Master. Is bamboo shoot stir-fried meat a dish? Isn't it delicious? Get lost. Bamboo shoot stir-fried meat is like using a bamboo pole to spank your butt. Although I don't have a bamboo pole, I have a rolling pin. Mickey Mouse, quickly tell me the truth. Little Black Rat blinked its eyes, and its tears fell. Whoa, Master, I'm afraid that if I go out, you won't let me play with brother Little Black Bird anymore. You wouldn't like me anymore because I can't do anything except eat or. Yin Chujio's eyes flashed. This Mickey Mouse must be lying to her again. The few little things that she took in all looked stupid and cute on the surface, but were actually cunning in their hearts. Sooner or later, she would make it obediently take the initiative to confess. Although Yin Chujio thought so in her heart, her face showed a kind smile like a wolf's grandmother. Mickey Mouse, I'm very kind. How can I not like you? Obediently tell me how we can get out. When we get out, the master will reward you with hibiscus or. Chapter 602. Yin Chujio. Above the enchantment, ever since Yin Chujio had taken possession of Little Black Rat's ore, Little Black Rat's food standard had plummeted. The hibiscus ore was the most valuable one, so Yin Chujio would only reward Little Black Rat with a piece if it contributed something. A few days ago, Little Black Rat had been working hard to dig a hole to look for rare ores, so Yin Chujio would Little Black Rat. However, she was stingy, so she only gave Little Black Rat a small piece. When Little Black Rat heard about the hibiscus ore, she almost drooled. It had been a few days since she last ate it. This black-hearted master, she was exploiting child labor. Master, 2 pieces. No, 5 pieces. 10 pieces. Little Black Rat stretched out her 2 front claws to bargain. She could not let go of this opportunity. Otherwise, she might not be able to eat it again. Okay. No problem. As long as we can get out, I will reward you with 10 pieces of hibiscus ore. Yin Chujio thought to herself. Anyway, the wool came from the sheep, so let us get out first. Little fellow, I have many ways to deal with you in the future, but you still dare to bargain with me. Little Black Rat ran to a blue stone and said, as long as I drop my blood on it and make a seal, we can be transported out. Yin Chujio said with a smile, Mickey Mouse, it seems that you know quite a lot. Don't worry, I will treat you well in the future. Little Black Rat jumped up and down happily. Little Black Bird curled his lips. You still do not understand our black-hearted master. The good that she said must not mean what you understand. You actually dare to negotiate with her. When we get out, things will not end well for you. Your brother will not be able to help you this time. You are walking to an early grave. After 2 hours, Feng Ming and the other 2 broke through one after another. Yin Chujio smiled and congratulated them. Feng Ming and the other two were also very excited. They didn't expect to break through in such a short time in the ancient mine trial. It was really exciting. 3 senior brothers, the happiness is coming soon. Mickey has a way to bring us out. Let's go. Let's go out and take revenge. Yin Chujia's eyes deepened. I won't let go of Su Yanran, Zhuo Piaoyu, Ding Lang, those scum. Feng Ming and the other two were overjoyed when they heard that. They immediately followed Yin Chujio and surrounded Little Black Rat, preparing to go out. Senior brothers, we can't tell the truth when we go out. This formation core is of great importance and must not be leaked. Moreover, once Mickey's identity is known, my little life will be in uproar, Yin Chujio said seriously. Junior sister Little Jio, we will say whatever you want us to say. Don't worry, we will keep our mouths shut about what happened here. Yes, junior sister Little Jio, we will not tell anyone. If you are worried, I will swear an inner demon oath. Gengyi was straightforward, and was about to start after he finished speaking. Yin Chujio quickly stopped him. Senior brother Gengyi, there is no need for this. We are friends that have gone through life and death situations. Why would we need to resort to such extremes? As long as you don't tell anyone, it will be fine. Seeing this, Feng Ming and the other two were inexplicably touched. They all promised that they would never tell anyone. After Yin Chujio made up some excuses, the 3 of them unified their statements. Only then did they tell Little Black Rat that they could begin. Little Black Rat looked at the stone room reluctantly. Then he bit his front claw and cut it open. After dripping blood on the stone slab, he began to make seals with his front claw. A moment later, everyone felt a flash of white light and heard the sound of the wind. When Yin Chujio could open her eyes, she found that Feng Ming and the other two had already landed on the ground. And she, cough cough, was stuck on the barrier of the ancient mine. Damn it! What's going on? Yin Chujio tried hard to climb down from the barrier. Unfortunately, at this moment, she was like a gecko that was firmly stuck on a wall. Chapter 603. Your style is quite unique, Mickey Mouse. What's going on? Master, it really has nothing to do with me this time. Look, those 3 are fine. Who knows why you're the only one stuck here? Besides, I've never heard of enchantments in my inheritance that can suck people. Little Black Rat said in confusion. Yin Chujio secretly wondered if it was because she had kidnapped the guardian beast of the ancient mine, and Tian Dao was taking revenge on her? Humph. Since I dared to kidnap her, I'm not afraid of your revenge. She stretched her neck and started to howl. Help! Senior brothers, quickly help me down. Feng Ming and the other two were wondering where Yin Chujio had gone. When they heard the shout, they looked up and saw Yin Chujio lying on the barrier. The 3 of them were about to pull Yin Chujio down when they saw someone flying towards Yin Chujio. Black Thing, your style is quite unique. Di Biming stood on the flying sword and said with a faint smile. Unique my ass. Damn gigolo. They had not seen each other for a long time. Not only did he pull her down, he even laughed at her. When she went down, she would teach him a good lesson. However, since she had a favor to ask, she naturally did not dare chastise him. She said pitifully, Prince Charming, hurry up and help me get down. I've missed you to death. The corner of Di Biming's mouth curled up. I told you that she would be fine. As expected, the Black Thing always gives me a surprise. Di Biming threw a palm at the barrier. The barrier trembled for a moment, and Yin Chujio was immediately sent flying. She immediately cried out in panic, and kept flailing her arms and legs. Just as she was about to land, her waist was held by someone. Di Biming hugged Yin Chujio and sighed. Black Thing, don't you have a flying chopping board? Yin Chujio immediately wrapped her arms around Di Biming's waist and said cheekily, It's forbidden to fly in the ancient mine. I forgot about the chopping board. Besides, I have a Prince Charming. Di Biming felt very comfortable when he heard Yin Chujio's words. He curled the corner of his mouth and landed on the ground with his sword. And Feng, who was holding a mushroom in the corner, saw that Yin Chujio had actually got out safely. He could not help but feel a surge of respect for Di Biming. It was he who understood the 9th Mississippi. The 9th Miss was a monster. She had actually got out from the ancient mine. How did she do it? Little ninth girl. This old man said that you are resourceful and will definitely be fine. Ha ha ha. It's great that all of you have returned safely. It had been more than a month since the ancient mine trial ended, and the main forces of the Linghua sect had already retreated. Elder Chu and a few elders had stayed behind. Now that they saw that Yun Chujio and the others had returned safely, they were naturally extremely happy. Elders, I've made all of you worry, Yun Chujio said apologetically. What are you talking about, little girl? We all know about the deeds done by the Heaven sect, Shui Piaoyu, and Ding Lang. Don't worry, when we return to the sect, we will give you an explanation. Why exactly were all of you teleported out after all this time? I didn't take the poison at that time. I was faking my death. After senior brother Feng Ming and the others left, I activated the concealment talisman to escape. I didn't expect that little bitch Su Yanran to have a precious disc array. After I activated it, she discovered me. I was chased by them until I couldn't even speak. Later, senior brother Feng Ming saved me, and we continued to escape. Later on, we fell into a deep pit. After that, when we woke up, we found that I was stuck to the barrier. Yin Chujio lied with a straight face. Chapter 604. Was there a way to get rid of the strange grass? Elder Chu frowned. What little Jio said at the beginning was still valid, but why did it sound so strange at the end? Elder Chu asked Feng Ming, and the other two. The three of them naturally repeated what Yin Chujio had said. Although Elder Chu was still skeptical, he did not inquire further. As long as one returned safely, it was already better than anything he hoped for. As for how all four made it out unscathed, there was no need to probe further. Since the four of them had returned safely, everyone set off to return to the Linghua sect. Although Di Biming had a lot of things to take care of recently, he had not seen Yin Chujio for such a long time. How could he bear to leave just like that? Thus he also rushed back to the Linghua sect. However, Yin Chujio and Di Biming rode on Di Biming's flying spirit tool alone. Prince Charming, have you seen your master? What did he say? At that moment, Yin Chujio was most concerned about the strange grass in her dantian. She did not dare to cultivate at all, afraid that the strange grass would continue to grow after she broke through again, endangering her life. Di Biming's expression froze. He said in a low voice, I told Master about your situation. Master has never seen you in such a situation. In an ordinary person's dantian, even the slightest carelessness in cultivating would cause problems, let alone that grass growing in yours. My master said that it's best to know where this grass came from before we can deal with it in a precise manner. Prince Charming, I heard from my grandfather that when I was capturing Zhou, I once caught a seed with a black light. After capturing Zhou, that seed could no longer be found. It probably ran into my dantian at that time. Yun Chujio was a little disappointed. She had great hopes for Di Biming's master. After all, Di Biming's master was almost the strongest person in the Tianyuan continent. If even he could not do anything about it, then no one would be able to get rid of the strange grass in her dantian. Where did that seed come from? Did the Yin family have another similar seed? Di Biming asked anxiously. Yin Chujio shook her head. There's only one. Grandfather said that the thing that caught Zhou was prepared by my mother. He doesn't know where that seed came from either. Di Biming pondered for a moment. From the looks of it, we can only look into your adoptive mother first. After we return to Linghua City, we will go to see your grandfather, and see if we can find some useful clues. Yin Chujio lowered her head, and answered in a muffled voice. Di Biming raised his eyebrows and the corners of his mouth curled up. Black thing, what I told you just now was the bad news. There is also a piece of good news. Do you want to hear it? Yin Chujio was stunned. There is still good news? Of course I want to hear it. Tell me quickly. Although my master has no way to get rid of the strange grass in your dantian for the time being, after listening to me describe the process of your illness, he said that the reason why your vitality was rapidly losing was probably that the strange grass needed a lot of nutrients to level up. Therefore, The next time you feel that the strange grass in your dantian is about to level up after your breakthrough, you should immediately consume a large number of pills and high-level herbs. That should help for the time being. Yin Chujio blinked her eyes and nodded. What Di Baiming said seemed to make sense. The premise was that she had to suppress the strange grass first. Otherwise, it might absorb all her energy and cause trouble for her again. The only thing that could suppress the strange grass was the Great Void Mirror. She had to think of a way to get the fragment from the Heaven's Gate sect. With the Great Void Mirror, it would help her suppress the strange grass. Yes, that was what she would do. Chapter 605. A pretty boy. Yin Chujio told Di Baiming about her idea. Di Baiming felt that it was feasible, so he said, "How do you plan to get the fragment of the Great Void Mirror from Heaven's Gate sect? Do you need my help?" "No need. No need. That little bitch Su Yanran caused me to suffer such a huge loss. I will naturally make that old bastard Du Gai pay the little price." On one hand, Yin Chujio did have a way to force the Heaven's Gate sect to hand over the fragment of the Great Void Mirror. On the other hand, she was worried that Di Baiming would be punished by the heavens if he really killed the people of the Tianmen sect. "Oh right, I showed the medicinal pill that you refined with golden patterns to my master. He said that it was a heaven-grade medicinal pill, and very few alchemists could refine it. He told you not to be discovered by others to avoid attracting trouble." Di Baiming thought for a moment and added, I used that medicinal pill to save Elder Shao and the others in the fire cave previously. However, I said that it was given to me by you. If I had known earlier, I would have let them swallow it with their eyes closed." Yin Chujio patted her thigh and said. The corner of Di Baiming's eyes twitched. "It doesn't matter. As long as you don't let slip that it was you who refined it, it's fine. If there's any trouble, I will bear the consequences." Yin Chujio swooned. The gigolo was becoming better and better at sweet-talking. She really wanted to ravage him. What was wrong with him? "Prince Charming, your birthday is in less than half a month. What birthday present do you want?" Yin Chujio asked playfully. "Anything is fine." Di Baiming did not celebrate his birthday every year. At most, he would just eat a bowl of longevity noodles. Yin Chujio rolled her eyes. "Prince Charming, how about this? When your birthday comes, I'll wash myself until I smell nice and fragrant. Then, I'll tie a bow on myself and give myself to you as a gift. How about that?" Di Baiming immediately imagined a sexy scene. His ears turned red and he scolded angrily. "Nonsense. The more you say, the more ridiculous it gets. It's getting late. You should go and rest. I'll control the flying spirit tool." Yin Chujio pursed her lips. The pretty boy's skin was too thin. If they were to get married in the future, he would not let her use leathers and whips when they had their fun right. Sigh. She could not enjoy such a handsome man now. She did not know when her small body would develop into an enchanting beauty. She really couldn't wait. Di Baiming's flying spirit tool had 2 rooms. One was for controlling the flying spirit tool, and the other was for resting. When Yin Chujio saw Di Baiming go to the other room, she thought for a moment and took out the bathtub. It was inconvenient to take a bath in the ancient mine these days. She was so dirty from the ordeal that it was a good time to take a hot bath. Yin Chujio took off her clothes in no time and entered the bathtub naked. She took a comfortable breath. It's so comfortable. TSK, when I hugged the gigolo's waist today, I felt that the gigolo's figure had improved. She secretly ravished Di Baiming in his head. As the day had been tiring, she sat in the bathtub and fell asleep. Di Baiming could still hear Yin Chujio humming and muttering at first, but after hearing that there was no movement, he thought that Yin Chujio had already fallen asleep. He walked into the room to see if Yin Chujio was sleeping well. However, the moment he entered the room, he saw Yin Chujio lying on the side of the bathtub, motionless. Di Baiming thought that Yin Chujio had fallen ill again. He was so scared that he cried out, "Black thing, what's wrong with you?" Di Baiming rushed to the side of the bathtub and carried Yin Chujio out. Yin Chujio was sleeping soundly. In her dream, she was teasing the gigolo. She opened her eyes and looked at Di Baiming in a daze. She smiled evilly and said, Gigolo, come give me something spicy. Chapter 606. Struggling with a nosebleed the entire night. Black thing. Are you crazy? Wake up. Biming heard Yin Chujia's nonsense and became even more worried. He shook Yin Chujia's shoulder. Yin Chujia rubbed her eyes and looked at Biming. She looked down at herself and pinched her arm. She screamed, "Pretty boy. You pervert. Get out." Biming was stunned. Black thing, are you okay? Are you not sick? Yin Chujio picked up the clothes on the ground and covered her chest. Her face was red as she scolded. You are the one who is sick. I fell asleep. You pervert. Get out. Biming's face suddenly turned red as he stammered. I thought you were sick. Oh, go now. Biming was in a panic and tripped on the way out. After he got up, he staggered and rushed out with both hands and feet. Yin Chujio heard a bang coming from outside the door. It turned out that Biming fell again in a panic. Yin Chujia's face was red. Although this guy kept saying that he wanted to do whatever he wanted, he was actually a perverted coward. Thinking of the scene just now, she wanted to find a hole to hide in. She randomly put on her clothes. Only then did she realize that she was wearing dirty clothes. She could only wash her clothes again before changing into clean clothes. When she lay on the bed, her little heart was still beating violently. The redness on her face did not fade for a long time. In the other room, Biming was in an even worse state. When he fell, his nose coincidentally bumped into the ground. Instantly, blood flowed out like a fountain. After much difficulty, he managed to stop the nosebleed. He heard the sound of Yin Chujio taking a bath again in the room. He replayed the scene in his head over and over, causing the nosebleed to get worse. The normally undaunted Biming had been struggling with a nosebleed the entire night. The next morning, Biming felt a little uncomfortable. He did not go into the room to have breakfast with Yin Chujio. He really could not think of what he would say if he met her. Just as Biming was in a dilemma, the door was pushed open. Yin Chujio ran out as if nothing had happened. Prince Charming, I'm hungry. Hurry up and eat. Biming saw that Yin Chujio was her usual self and felt more at ease. He stammered and explained. Little Jio, yesterday I thought that something happened to you, so? It's not a big deal. Don't take it to heart. Anyway, you'll be mine sooner or later, so just watch. If you feel uncomfortable, then take off your clothes and let me look at you. Yin Chujio said with a lecherous look. The discomfort in Biming's stomach was instantly extinguished. He said with a sullen face. You're talking nonsense again. Why did you fall asleep in the shower yesterday? Aren't you afraid of catching a cold? Prince Charming, didn't you know that I was chased to death by the 10 one-horned demon lizards in the ancient mine? I was so exhausted that when I relaxed, I suddenly fell asleep. Yin Chujio said with a bitter face. Well, now that you have my master's idea, you can continue to cultivate. Don't be lazy. You won't be so lucky every time. If it weren't for Little Black Rat, you would probably be doomed again. Yin Chujio nodded obediently. Prince Charming, don't worry. I will definitely cultivate well. I will strangle that little bitch Su Yanran to death with my own hands. Biming nodded in gratification. Right now, the black thing's spiritual power was too low. It was impossible to enter the Tianyuan continent. Only when she cultivated diligently and reached the peak of the 9th level of the spiritual emperor realm could she enter the Tianyuan continent. Chapter 607. I have no objections this time. Yin Chujio kept her word. After eating breakfast, she obediently meditated and cultivated. Biming was very satisfied. He thought to himself, finally, Black Thing is sensible. 2 days later, the 2 flying spirit tools arrived at the Linghua sect at the same time. Yin Chujio was surprised to find that Feng was actually chatting and laughing with Feng Ming, and the other 2. They were very intimate, so she asked Feng what was going on. It turned out that Biming was in a hurry to spend time with Yin Chujio, so he hurriedly brought Yin Chujio onto the flying spirit tool and flew away. The miserable Enfeng could only follow Elder Chu and the others onto the flying spirit tool of the Linghua sect. Enfeng and the other two were bored, so they brought Enfeng along and ran away as fast as they could. Enfeng had seen Di Baiming play landlord many times, but he had never played solitaire himself. He became addicted to it, so he naturally became familiar with Feng Ming and the other two. The first thing everyone did when they arrived at the Linghua sect was to see Master Xianyuan. After receiving the news, Master Xianyuan had already gathered the 5 peak masters and the elders to wait for everyone. After seeing Master Xianyuan, Yin Chujiu told them everything. Then she asked, Master Xianyuan, not only did Zhuo Piaoyu, Ding Lang, and the others threaten their fellow disciples at a critical moment, they also deliberately poisoned me. Fortunately, I was quick-witted and found some clues. I've been keeping this highly toxic food. After Yin Chujiu finished speaking, she took out the toxic food that Zhuo Piaoyu had given her from her storage ring. Elder Qi took it and sniffed it. Immediately his expression changed. There was a poison flame pill in this. The poison flame pill is very toxic. If little Jiu had eaten a bit of it back then, she would have died on the spot. These poison flame pills must have been refined by that evil disciple of Ding Lang. What a beast! Peak Master Yuan sat at the side with a livid expression. He had originally thought that Zhuo Piaoyu had only betrayed her fellow disciples at a critical moment. He had never thought that she would have such vicious intentions. This was truly an unforgivable crime. Peak Master Yuan, Elder Qi, Zhuo Piaoyu, and Ding Lang have committed a grave mistake. What plans do you have? Master Xianyuan asked in a deep voice. Elder Qi said angrily, that beast Ding Lang, since he has such vicious thoughts and wants to poison little Jiu, we naturally can't let him live. Kill him. However, Peak Master Yuan sighed and said, Sect leader, you also know Zhuo Piaoyu's identity. If we kill her, I'm afraid that the Zhuo family won't let it go. Why don't we cripple her cultivation and expel her from the Linghua sect? Little Jiu, although it's not very fair to deal with her like this, I watched her grow up with my own eyes. I really can't bear to kill her like this. Moreover, she still has the Zhuo family behind her. If we really kill her, I'm afraid that it will make things worse. Yin Chujiu was a little displeased. What do you mean you can't bear to do this? Could it be that you can bear to let her kill me? Fuck. There really is a difference in the way you treat people. However, Yin Chujiu thought about it. To a fake White Lotus like Zhuo Piaoyu, crippling her cultivation and being chased out of the Linghua sect would probably make her wish she was dead. That outcome was not so bad either. Thus Yin Chujiu said with a smile, I have no objections. You guys can decide. Seeing how sensible Yin Chujiu was, Peak Master Yuan felt even more guilty. Little Jiu, I've let you down in this matter. You can keep these defensive spirit tools. Yin Chujiu pretended to shirk for a moment, but she had already begun put the items into her storage ring. She felt a little more at ease. After everyone's discussion was settled, Master Xianyuan ordered someone to bring Zhuo Piaoyu and the others up. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.